Hey, what's up everybody? It is Mark with the My Front Range Living Team, and today we're talking about the home inspection during the buying process, and we're going to get started right now. Hey, what's up everybody? It is Mark with the My Front Range Living Team, powered by RE/MAX Integrity. And yes, that's right, today we are talking about a very sexy subject: home inspections during the buying process. So I don't want to joke about that. I mean, it really is what we consider to be one of the most, if not the most important part of the buying process after we're under contract. So if you're thinking about buying a home, even a new construction home, and we'll get to that in a minute, the home inspection is what we consider to be one of the very most important parts of the buying process. And the reason for that is that's when we go in, and we all understand that it's a seller's market, and when we're showing houses, we're in there for 15-20 minutes, and we have to make a pretty quick decision that impacts the single largest asset purchase that we're ever going to make, right? So this is our opportunity to slow all of that down and really get into the nuts and bolts, the nitty gritty of what that house is. We're going to be in that house for 3 to 4 hours, right? So we think that's super important, and here's why. Because you all know, if you haven't seen the inspection and all that other good stuff, we've got some information right here in this video. You can check that out. But this is where we do the objection, meaning we're going to go through and Jeff's going to take a look. Jeff, PRC Inspections, love you, buddy. He's going to go through the entire house, and he's going to take a look at what he thinks needs to be fixed, whether that be the electrical panel. Hey, this electrical panel is made for so many amps, and you're pushing that right now. It can't take on anything else. That could be a safety concern. Or he sees that there's an active leak somewhere, or whatever. And we personally have a part of our inspection process. There's a lot to it. Jeff comes out. He's the inspector that we recommend. And we have a roofer that we work with. He brings a roofer out, and they do the inspection. We'll oftentimes put a drone above the house to see if we can see any hail hits or anything like that. That roofer will go up there and make recommendations. So, and if everything's okay, Storm Guard's going to come out and they're going to give you a 5-year roof certification, meaning that they certify that roof is good for at least the next 5 years, of course, barring any acts of nature. We also, Jeff also offers radon testing. We can do sewer scopes, and those are a big deal. More on that in just a second. But the inspection is where we are in there objecting to some of the things that we see. So we go in with our buyers, and the buyers say, hey, this, and this are non-negotiables. We have to have that addressed before we're willing to move forward with this purchase. We send that to the seller. The seller kicks back a resolution that says, yeah, we'll fix this, or we'll fix this, and this, but this doesn't need to be addressed in our view. And then again, we're back to that negotiation table. And the reason that's so important is because that's one of those places where you can get your earnest money back. If you want to learn more about all the ways you can get your earnest money back throughout the course of a transaction, you can check out this video right here. But that's why it's such a huge important part of the buying process, is because it's one of those ways that you can get your earnest money back if you see something that maybe doesn't give you warm fuzzies, maybe a little bit of the heebie-jeebie thing, right? So we have seen with the pandemonium of the seller's market over the last few years that some agents are allowing their buyers to waive the inspection. They're waiving their right to the inspection. Folks, we are not those agents. It will not happen. Inspections run anywhere between $400 and $500 for the inspection. That roof certification we were talking about, that's free. Radon is $125, and a sewer scope is about the exact same, $125, $150, somewhere in there. The reality of it is that's $700-ish depending upon the house. That can save you tens of thousands of dollars on the other side. We will not recommend a waiver. It's not going to happen. Instead, what we have done, and what we recommend that we do right now in this market to be more competitive, is we will limit the objection items that we send to the sellers to health, safety, and function. And the reason we do that, we talked about the radon test that we do. If the radon kicks back high, we will say that's a safety concern. We have to have that addressed. Or the roof sags a little bit when Storm Guard gets up there. We'll say, hey, that decking needs to be replaced. That's a function concern. Or you have the sewer scope done, and maybe you've got tree roots growing into clay pipe, and that clay pipe's going to more easily disintegrate over time. you're going to want to either A, have that clean, or B, even have some of that pipe replaced. So you can see how these are big ticket items, but that's health, safety, and function only. So hey, that light switch was loose or whatever. No, we're not bringing that up. Hey, that outlet should be a GFC instead of a regular outlet. We're not bringing that up either. We can change that out to a GFC. That's not a big deal. But some of those larger issues, limiting it to just health, safety, and function does two things. Number one, it protects you as the buyer to make sure that those substantial items are addressed. And two, it boosts your how well the seller sees your offer when you submit. So we never waive it, but we will put health, safety, function only in there, and that way it protects you and we still see what's going on in the house. And again, that inspection report is going to come back and it's going to tell you what needs to be maintained and how, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to ask for it. You know, like I said, the outlet, if you got to replace an outlet. But hey, this breaker box is completely overloaded and has to be replaced. Hey, you got to get a licensed electrician in here. That's a safety issue. So that's what that looks like. Earlier on, we talked about new construction and the fact that we want to do inspections on that as well. And we are firm believers in that, and I'll tell you why. Again, the roofers are getting on the roof. Typically, when you do a new home construction, if you're doing a new home build, they will have their superintendents walk the house with you, and here's this, and it's fine, and yada, yada, yada. Nobody's getting on the roof. Nobody. So we have our roofers come out, and we have seen where painters got on the roof and had their ladder on there, and they were painting the soffits, which is great, but it damaged the shingles, and they had to be replaced. That's why we have the inspection done. 9 times out of 10, especially in new constructions, you need to have your HVAC system cleaned and serviced because of all the construction debris, drywall dust, things like that, to make sure that the furnace and the HVAC system are operating at optimum levels. And a lot of times we're not seeing contractors clean out the HVAC systems prior to closing. So that's why we have inspections. And Jeff's kicked back to a lot of stuff too, even in new builds. Not like anything that's red flags and hey, we got to cut ties and run, but still something that a new build contractor can address for you before closing and give you a little bit more peace of mind. Hey, as always, we appreciate you stopping by and checking out the video. If you could, swing down below and give me that sweet, sweet thumbs up and like today's video. It would also mean the world if you went below, clicked on the bell, and subscribed to our channel. We're putting out content every single week to help you make Colorado Springs feel like home. Also, in the description of the video, you will notice a website. It belongs to My Front Range Living, and it's super great. If you're new to the area or coming to the area, it's a great avenue to find out more about restaurants, things to do, places to go, things like that to help make Colorado Springs feel like home. And you can search homes right from that website. Makes it pretty easy. Also, if you're thinking about moving to Colorado Springs, you can go in the description of the video and click on the relocation guide. That's yours to keep. It just gives you a little more information about some of the different areas in Colorado Springs that might meet your criteria and where you might best help Colorado Springs feel like home. As always, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.